All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Emily Baudier. I'm a sales engineer at Facility Grid. Before joining Facility Grid, I worked for a large engineering firm where I managed commissioning activities across healthcare, aviation, and other complex construction projects. I also used Facility Grid firsthand in the field to help streamline the commissioning process, so I've experienced many of the same challenges project teams deal with every day. So today I'll be walking through a live demonstration of the platform and showcasing several of the ways Facility Grid helps teams reduce risk, improve visibility, and keep projects moving forward. To make the demo more realistic, I'll be simulating a day in the life using Facility Grid, showing how different project teams interact with the platform throughout the day, from reviewing asset readiness in the morning to managing field workflows and issues on site, and also tracking overall project progress and reporting later in the day. And just a few housekeeping items. We will be recording this session and sharing that to attendees. Additionally, there will be a time at the end of the session for questions. And feel free to put any in the chat as we go through the presentation. Facility Grid is a purpose-built quality control and commissioning platform designed to support teams from installation through turnover. We've been supporting projects for many years and currently have more than 90,000 active participants using the platform across a wide range of industries. The software is available both on web and through a mobile app that works online and offline across iOS, Android, as well as Windows devices. So the challenges that we hear from teams are incredibly consistent across projects. Too often, commissioning teams arrive on site for testing only to discover equipment isn't actually ready. Project information lives across spreadsheets, emails, meeting notes, making it difficult for teams to stay aligned. And issues are identified in the field but aren't tracked properly, which causes unresolved items to resurface late in the schedule and create delays during critical phases of the project. On top of that, teams spend countless hours manually compiling reports and chasing updates instead of focusing on moving the project forward. So Facility Grid was built specifically to solve these problems. The platform digitizes and centralizes the commissioning process so everyone is working from the same real-time information. Before arriving on site, teams can quickly verify asset readiness, review checklist completion, identify outstanding issues, and understand exactly where the project stands. That visibility helps eliminate wasted mobilizations, last-minute surprises, and delays caused by equipment not being ready for test day. Facility Grid also improves collaboration between project stakeholders by connecting field workflows directly to the office. Trades can complete checklists, document issues, upload photos, and respond to tasks directly from the field using the cloud version or the mobile app, while project managers and commissioning teams see updates instantly in real time. This creates stronger accountability, better communication, and faster issue resolution across project teams. Another major advantage is early issue visibility. Instead of issues getting buried in spreadsheets or discovering them weeks later during turnover, Facility Grid ensures they are documented, assigned, and tracked the moment they're identified. Finally, the platform eliminates much of the manual effort associated with reporting and closeout tracking. Real-time dashboards and automated reporting provide teams with immediate insight into project progress without spending hours building updates manually. At the end of the day, the real power of Facility Grid is having one centralized source of truth for the entire project. That leads to better planning, improved coordination, reduced risk, and ultimately a smoother path to turnover. So with that, I'll jump into the platform and walk through a few of the features that help make all of that possible. So when I arrive on site for the day, the first thing I do is open Facility Grid to get an immediate pulse on where my project stands as a commissioning authority. So Facility Grid gives me real-time visibility into the entire project. There's never any uncertainty around when assets are ready for functional testing, whether pre-functional testing has been completed, or where outstanding issues still exist. And that eliminates one of the biggest frustration on projects, which is sending teams on site for test day only to discover equipment isn't actually ready. And today I'll be working inside of a demo data center project called Terabyte Data Center. So let's go ahead and open that up. So immediately in the status overview page, which is the main landing page for Facility Grid, I can get summarized live information regarding issues in my project, and even information regarding my tests as well. But this morning, I want to get more granular information. So let's start by pulling up the assets in Facility Grid. On the left-hand side, I'll navigate to the Equipment tab, and every asset is tied directly to an equipment type and/or a system. But today we're going to take a look at individual equipment. 1 second. All right, so as I move through the equipment list, updates appear instantly. I can see live completion percentages for my pre-functional checklist and my functional test as well. I can see if there's been any sign-off on checklists, if documents have been uploaded, and even if any images have been uploaded to an asset record. And you can see I've applied a filter to only see my HVAC assets in this project. And so I can focus on my mechanical progress for the day by filtering by that discipline. So by applying that filter, I can see all my HVAC equipment in a single window, making it easy to understand where that discipline stands. And for this example today, I'm going to click into an air handling unit, which is air handling unit 4. So when I open up this asset record, I can see where it's located, where it serves, a lot of information regarding that asset. There's even a QR code that I can generate here if I want to scan this in the field, pull up this asset record. But what I'm really looking for here today is down at the bottom. If I click into the subtask tab, I can see exactly what's been done and what hasn't been done in terms of all my activities for this project for this air handling unit. So I can see that there has been field QC test, it's ready for startup, installer checklist, startup checklist, and we're currently working on the PFC for this particular air handling unit. So I can see that that is in progress and even behind schedule for this particular project, and that there are some open issues applied to this air handling unit as well. So this level of visibility means I no longer have to sort through spreadsheets, emails, or piece together information from meeting notes to determine if an asset is actually ready for testing. Everything I need is centralized in one place, helping eliminate that guesswork and wasted mobilization. And if I want to get more information about where my tests are in this project, if I click over to my checklist tab, I can even see how far along that PFC for this particular asset is. So it's 84% complete, almost done. There's no sign off. So I know that this asset is not ready for functional testing just yet. So now that we've established that, I'm going to log in as a trade for this particular project to demonstrate how different trades interact with Facility Grid in the field. So let's go ahead and log out and log back in as an electrical contractor on this project. And let's navigate to that same project, Terabyte Data Center. So the platform is designed to make it easy for trades to complete checklists, document issues, and stay connected on site. And this eliminates one of the biggest friction points during commissioning by making participation simple and intuitive, while also reducing rework caused by having to document information separately in the field and later back in the office. So right away, you'll notice that the menu is much more reduced based on the permissions assigned to me, the electrical contractor, by the project administrator for this project. And this simplifies the experience for field teams and makes it easier to focus on the work that's relevant to them. And then if I click into the checklist tab, I can see all the checklists for this project. And what we have also with Facility Grid is this filter in the top right corner, which is called the My Filter button. And what that allows me to do is to automatically see what is applied or what is assigned to me for this particular project. So it will reduce that list of checklists to only the checklists that apply to me that I need to fill out. And today, let's say for this example, I am currently in the electrical room in the building. So I'm going to filter by only the electrical contractors, which you see I've already applied, or electrical checklist, which you see I've applied here, as well as my incomplete checklist. And that'll reduce my list even further. And I'm going to open up the functional checklist for UPS, or the pre-functional checklist for UPS G2. All right, so now I'm inside that checklist, and if I scroll down, I can get to the questionnaire and see what's left for me to fill out. So it looks like I've already completed the majority of this checklist, but inside this general section, I have a few items that are outstanding. So I can go ahead and answer these questions. So let's say that the answer for all of these is yes. And if we did have an issue or the question answer would be no, I can create an issue directly at that question inside of this checklist, and that will populate to the issue repository. So there's no need to wait until I'm back in the office or back at the trailer. I can do this directly in the fields, which ensures issues are documented in real time and tied directly to the correct asset and checklist the moment that they're identified. So I'm going to go ahead and save my progress for this checklist. And then now I've completed this checklist. The status has moved to checked. So that's another thing that I have marked off my list today as the electrical contractor on this data center project. Additionally, in the issues repository, I can also apply the My Filter button, which is in the top right corner, to quickly see only the issues assigned to me. So I can open active issues, review the notes, respond immediately as updates come in, and verify that the work has been completed. So while I'm in the electrical room, I will go ahead and filter by those open issues that are assigned to me. And we'll take a look at an issue that I need to close out. So for today's example, let's look at this UPS G1 issue. So again, I can review these issue details. If this problem has been resolved, I can respond and attach a quick photo as verification and submit my response instantly. So the commissioning authority on this project will be able to review my response and close out this outstanding deficiency. So with that, Facility Grid keeps workflows seamless in the field, whether teams are online or offline, which helps improve coordination and communication across the project team. We also offer a mobile app that makes this process even easier for trades working on site with support for Apple, iOS, Android, and Windows devices, which I have reviewed in previous webinars, which are on our YouTube page. All right, so I'm going to log back into my account, which is the commissioning authority on that project. And we will jump back into that terabyte data center project. So now I'm back acting as the commissioning authority on this project, and I'm at my laptop. I reopened the web version of Facility Grid, and everything captured during that site work is automatically or already visible in real time. So if I go back into my issues log, I can apply filters by responsibility, by status. So we're looking at all of my open issues right now. And then I can look into, let's say, my electrical contractor, even apply a priority to get a great look at all the issues that are open for this project. From here, I can also generate a PDF report up at the top left, which will compile this short list of issues into a nice report that can be shared directly to the project team. So you're not spending hours manually building these issue updates or updating them across email spreadsheets. And that removes another major bottleneck that projects often face, which is time-intensive reporting. So each issue also triggers notifications to the assigned responsibility, helping ensure the right people are aware of what needs attention and keeping progress moving forward. And then because the issue log updates in real time, contractors can resolve issues while they're still on site during testing, like the example we discussed a minute ago. And teams have seen major reductions in issue turnaround times because problems are identified, communicated, and closed out immediately instead of days later or from getting lost. And ultimately, real-time issue tracking keeps projects moving, prevents delays from compounding late in the schedule. All right, so now it's the afternoon, the day's wrapping up, and I jump into the project health module, the closeout tracker, to get a high-level view of my project. So traditionally, reporting at this level of detail would require hours of manual updates and coordination across multiple spreadsheets and reports. Facility Grid consolidates everything into a single live dashboard called the closeout tracker, which dramatically reduces manual reporting effort while improving accuracy. So as the team completes checklists, logs issues, and uploads documentation, the dashboard updates automatically. And across the top, I can see the workflow stages for this project, such as factory witness test, GC set in place checklist, installation, all the way through warranty for this particular project. And down the left side are the systems and assets that we have on this project, each with a clear status indicator showing what's complete, what's under review, what's missing, and where unresolved issues still exist. So you can see we have 3 different columns, which is the status of that activity, a document status, so whether it's been uploaded, reviewed, or rejected, and then an issue status. So if a single asset is delaying a task or a phase, I can identify it immediately with the closeout tracker. For example, if I open up the air handling unit asset type, I can see that one of these units the PFC has been completed and the functional test has been started, while the other units, the PFC is still in progress. So that means that I don't need to mobilize a site team for those assets just yet, but we're getting pretty close with these checklists being almost complete. So I can get that idea of how my project is progressing, confidently schedule out teams to begin testing, and just overall understand where my project is. Advanced filtering in the closeout tracker also helps me focus on what matters most. So if I want to review only my critical assets and how they're progressing, I can apply a filter and that will condense my view. Or if I want to see my tasks with open issues to make sure that nothing is slipping through the cracks, I can apply that filter. And for this example, I can see we have open issues all the way back from level 1, where this current project is in level 3 startup. So that's a red flag for me that I need to ensure that this open issue is closed out ASAP. So by the end of the day on site, I've been able to verify asset readiness, track trade progress, create and resolve issues in real time, generate reports, and review the overall project status without digging through disconnected spreadsheets, emails, or notes. Facility Grid keeps everyone aligned, improves visibility across the project lifecycle, and helps teams move projects smoothly toward completion and turnover. And that's all I had for today. Thank you so much for joining. I'll be happy to answer any questions, so feel free to drop them in the chat. And then, of course, if this session sparked your interest, reach out and request a demo. We would love to continue the conversation. And here's my contact info on this slide. And thank you again for joining. I will hang around for a minute if there are any questions, but I currently don't see any in the chat. Last call, any questions before we end today's session? Happy to answer anything. All right, looks like we have no questions. I will go ahead and give everyone 3 minutes back for today, but thanks again for joining, and please reach out if you'd like to learn more about Facility Grid, and looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.